This is the Star Ferry, one of the most popular tourist attractions in Hong Kong. It provides an inexpensive and remarkable experience of crossing the phenomenal harbor of Hong Kong, and it operates cross-harbor routes. The ferry ride across the harbor provides a splendid view of the harbor, the Hong Kong Island, and the Kowloon waterfronts. The Star Ferry consists of 12 vessels carrying 70,000 passengers every day! It traces its origin back to 1888, going through the British and Japanese recession. In 1888, Dorabji Naroji Mathayawala, who was a Parsi businessman in Hong Kong, founded the Kowloon Ferry Company. Originally, steam vessels transported cargo and passengers between Kowloon and the Hong Kong Island. Due to the British cession of Kowloon, a public transportation service between the two islands was not established until the late 1870s. In 1890, the first ferry pier of the company was constructed at Pedder Street and Chater House. The popularity of crossing the harbor by steam vessels enabled him to increase his fleet to 4 vessels. He incorporated his business into the Star Ferry Company Limited in 1898. In 1906, a new Star Ferry pier was constructed at the end of Salisbury Road in order to handle the growing number of passengers. However, the new pier was destroyed by a typhoon in the following December. The second generation Star Ferry pier was located at Pedder Street, the present site of Jardine House. By 1941, the company had 6 vessels. During the Japanese occupation, the Japanese controlled the Star Ferry for their own purposes, most commonly for transporting prisoners of war. In 1957, the third generation Star Ferry pier was constructed following the major land reclamation that caused the close down of the second Star Ferry pier. The pier was built in Edinburgh Place Central. However, the end of the era was marked when the Edinburgh Star Ferry Pier had to make way for reclamation. It was officially decommissioned on the 11th of November 2006. The Star Ferry Pier and the Queen's Ferry Pier had to be demolished to make way for a 6-lane road and a shopping center. The demolition of the Edinburgh Ferry Pier had sparked a public outcry. Architects argued that the third Star Ferry Pier is historically and architecturally significant to Hong Kong. It was one of their last streamlined modern buildings in Hong Kong. Historically, the Ferry Pier is recognized as Hong Kong's people's collective memory. It has gone through the height of the modern movement in 1957 and the Hong Kong riots in 1966. However, the government claimed that the historical significance of the third generation pier would be recreated in the fourth generation Star Ferry Pier. Or did they? The fourth generation Star Ferry Pier number 7 and 8 is located at Nan Kwong Road. It was built in 2006. The Edwardian style pier features 2 finger piers with boarding rooms and waiting rooms, a public viewing deck, a canteen style restaurant, and a cafe is located on the top floor of the piers. It also features a new clock tower. As the government promised to replicate the old clock tower in the third generation pier, the chimes of the clock tower were rebuilt from scratch, but original clock faces and mechanisms were kept. However, the government's attempt at the Edwardian style has drawn criticisms from the public. The relocation of the pier has brought serious consequences to the Star Ferry Company. As the pier is located 300 meters away from its original site, passengers would have to face a longer walk. It is estimated that the company would lose 13% of its passengers. This is the Star Ferry. Our very own government is taking its historical significance away. This is the Star Ferry. Its very core and its unique culture being ripped away. This is the Star Ferry.